see. We should be up online on Twitch as well. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right. And you can actually see my screen. Nice. And you can... And I also can hear myself on Twitch. Let me get back to my screen so I can do some programming. It's the right channel and category and whatnot. Yep, cool. Huh. All right. So what were we doing? I think maybe we can have a README. readme.md. Hey. Nice. Hashtag deck builder kit. Wait a minute. Why is it trying to autocomplete as if this is a Swift file? Because it is not a Swift file. Alright, I already hate it. I hate it. It's trying to be smart, but it is not smart. Let's see. New file from template. It will be an empty file. Yeah, documentation. That's fine. Neat. Deck builder kit. And you will be readme.md kit. This is where, interesting. Trying to run Twitch on my iPad so I can monitor the stream, but somehow it's not working for me. Hey, now it should be better. This is where I play around I try to recreate Slay the Spire, but in Swift with a custom domain language. Unspell. DSL, domain specific language. DSL. All right. To-do list. Right. We were looking at cards. It's called slay.ocean. Yeah, .lol. And we were looking at biased cog. Come on. Yes, biased cognition. To-do list. Biased cog. Really? This is a link. There we go. Sort of. This is done. What can I do? It gives you formal focus instantly. It takes away one focus at the start of player's turn. Player's turns at the start of player's turns. Yep. This is done. This is done. Actually, I don't like the markdown to-do list because it's not visual. I would rather have a green cross or a check mark. There we go. Biased cog, This is a work in progress, which is a construction icon, actually. There is a construction icon, and there is the check mark. In case I need them. I don't think I would need them. This is if you have artifact. When you play the... I forgot, how does Markdown work? But I'm gonna try thinking it works like that. Give me 1 second. Let me see. GitHub Markdown format or cheat sheet. It would give me the basic writing and formatting syntax. Yep. And what about links? Section links, relative links, anchors. Yeah, links. Auto link to references and URLs. I thought working with advanced attaching files, task list, permalinks to code, relative links, custom anchors, right? Not what I'm looking for. Like a reference link. All right, let's ask ChatGPT. Let's see. How do you add links in GitHub Markdown where you have the links at the bottom and you can reference them in your main text? Hopefully it understands what I'm trying to ask. Reference style links. Oh. Interesting. Biased. Biased call, biased. It seems to be saying that this would work. Oh, right. There and there. Maybe this would work. If you have, when you play the cards, actually, change my mind. If you play the card, then it takes away your artifact. It does not add the lose focus effect. Okay, let's see. How about, let's see. Probably wouldn't need those. This would be biased cog and core search. So let's take a detour. Let's build, not you, construction. Yep. Let's build core search. but only partially, only part of the core surge that we're building. Right. Let's see. Core surge. Show me the core surge card, please. Core surge. Right. Deal 11 damage, gain 1 artifact, and exhaust. Oof. Deal 11 damage. Gain 1 artifact. Exhaust. The main thing I want to do, the thing that I care about right now is public let core surge, which is a card, has the name of core surge. It gives you 1 artifact. Huh. Would you say artifact is one of the attributes? Sure. Artifact. Then this would be gain 1 artifact. Right? And let's create new files from template, or just new empty file. This would be core surge. No, this would be, yeah, sure. This would be core surge. Tests. Tests. This wouldn't be called card test anymore. This would be called biased cork tests. And these are all under cards. Tests, cards. Yeah. Okay. Core search tests, yeah, sure. Almost the same thing, with a different name. This is a core search test. We already know how bias cork behave in this code base. What we would like to do is, let's see, let's give me 1 second. Oops, sorry about that. Actually, give me 1 second. Add a group in OBS, say texts. And then in text we add text. BRB. Oh, we add existing. Yeah, we add BRB. Sure. Cool. Going to that. Let me take a short break. I'll be right back in about 3 minutes. All right. Let's see. All right, I am back. So, where were we? Right. We were trying to add core surge and make sure we have artifacts working. Let's go back to the README. I think the bias call. This is what needs to be done. Behavior. This is behavior. And what actually got done is the technical can't spell, technical ability, technical components. The game object, even though it's very basic, oh, we got so much done. Actually, let me have a look. The game object is there, the player object is there, the attribute is there. The game event is also there. The effect, which is like the core of this whole sort of SDK, sort of, not entirely an SDK. Effect is there, the gain and loss is there, the specialized gain and lose, and event-driven effect, yep, quite a few, and also combined effect. And we also build a card effect builder, which is a result builder in Swift, which allows you to write code that's really easy to read, like this one. Bias Cog, it has a name, which is bias cognition, and then this is its effects. It will gain full focus when you play it, and at the start of the player turn, you will lose one focus every freaking turn. Yeah. Not quite. Stop doing that. Stop. Oh god. I gotta re-manage this window again. Alright, cool. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, let's get back to it. How does that look? Looks alright. Right, I forgot to do the transition. Silly me! Core Surge would gain one artifact, and it does nothing yet, even though this would be like deal 11 damage, and hey, exhaust. Yeah. Alright, cool. Right, just to make the bias cog work, we build all that. Of course. The card is also there. And, oh, right. You can be gone now. Sort of. We're gonna move you to somewhere else. Right. Private let bias cog. Not only it has that, it would only have like a rarity. Energy cost. And personally, I like to order things by how long they are. Type, name, character, energy cost, and rarity. How do you spell rarity? What do you mean real is not a real word? ChatGPT. ChatGPT is like, how can this person just doesn't know how to spell? How do you spell rarity? I think that's the right spelling. Yep, R-A-R-I-T-Y. Cool. This is a rare card, right? Yep. Energy cost, character, yep, defect. Cool. I haven't done any of these yet because I don't think they need to be done yet. And then, of course, is the effects. Because I think effect is the core part of the game. Right. Go back to the base. Right. What have we been doing right now? Let's do a commit. Let's check. What is the diff? We have added the readme, of course. We are trying to add the artifact, but we haven't really done that yet, right? And the rest is basically just, you know, managing things. I did notice that we do have this. I do want to take care of that gap, and I'm just gonna say this is tidying things up. Tidy things up. And add artifact. Work in progress. Adding artifact. Yeah, because it's not done. We're still doing that. Core search. Ah, right. The other thing I want to do right now is actually... I do love to say actually... Okay. Right. I do want to split everything up into their own files. New empty file called player, right, and have the base on the side. Ooh, right now the player is actually real simple. Just that. How simple is that? I think I also want a new folder called core, and player is definitely part of the core. Base, new empty file, we want the game. Give me the game, please. The game is a bit more involved. I thought about using functional reactive programming in this, but again, I think it doesn't have to have that. You can just like dispatch event and register these sort of event handlers. They would be triggered by events, and when they are triggered, there's an effect happening, which is basically a function. Right. Core new empty file effect. Right. And there we go. We would like a new folder called effects. And in effects, we have some game. I don't think anything else will be called game, so I'm not gonna call this game effects. Another empty file called lose. I think all the effects should be named as a verb, or it's like event-driven effects. Event-driven effects. Effects, right. And you have a type alias. You can use it like at this event then this happens. Like, let's see. Like how we're building Bascock. At the start of player turn, lose 1 focus. That is beautiful. Beautiful. New empty file, combined effect. You go there. You go back. Take that away. I think the effects, right? It also has some core parts, but I'm not gonna do the core part yet. I think card effect. Why is it called card effect builder? It should just be called effect builder. And then we take this over here. And I would like to rename you to just effect builder. Because effects are not just about cards. Energy cost and rarity. Rarity. Card type, character type. Or actually just character. Card effect. Why is this called card effect rather than just effect? Oh, right, because we named effect. Effectiveness. Applicable. So effect would be applicable. Oh, that's why. This is effect. The card effect. All right. Card effect is basically what effect the card would have. Okay. It basically taken, it gives you an effect. And what does the card take? Do I even need the card effect? Question. I don't think I need the card effect, actually. Oh, cool. And final one, this would be card. Oh, interesting. Player game effect card, right? And if I go into the base, card is also an effect by itself because you can apply a card, you can play a card. Actually, it doesn't have to be an effect, right? You can just say play card. All right, debatable. Note. Does card have to be an effect? Can we not just have game.play card? Yeah, good question. Good question being asked. Attribute and game event. Sure, attribute and game event are part of the core, I would say. Attribute. New empty file, game event. Take that. There are some things here, it's not logic, right? They're just like defining the data. However, the game itself has some sort of logic. The card is more like a data type. It contains, these are all like data types. A lot of data types, actually. Now, this one, I think because you only used once, I am gonna move you into where you were called. Yeah, here. Right here. It's a private extension. And I think base is empty now. This is core. This is facts. And I can have a new folder called cards. And I can have a biased cognition card. Biased cognition. Actually, cards can have more folders, but for later. Don't do what you don't have to do before you have to do it. Bias cognition, sure, you would have your full name. Bias cognition. Tests. Sure. And let's rename all of this to biased cognition. It is a bit weird though. I don't have to create this card every time. It is a bit weird, but let's just do it like so. And we have a core surge. And we can extract the core surge right here. Do we not need to import foundation? Oh, probably not, right? A lot of things is actually not defining foundation anymore. And foundation is a pretty heavy framework to import. All right, let's see. What are the diffs? What have we done so far? It's more like a tidy up. Split things into their own files. Split base. Split things into their own files. Cool. In case you are curious, let's see. Right. OBS. This is the repository on GitHub, if you want to have a look. All right. What's next? Right, we were implementing core search, and let's see, effects, gain, lose, event-driven combined, and the core search. Right, the bias cognition test. It is losing focus. I do want to specify that losing things, this is more like a debuff. But how can I write code, right? Let's see. Just giving myself a little bit template. Can you just write things like this? Would the compiler be happy? Yeah, no. Expressions are not allowed, but if you give it a name, does not bind any variable. Okay. Code. Now compiler would be happy. Yep, cool. I just want to write. So I would like effect to. I would like to be able to say this is a debuff, and then it would say, hey, lose 1 focus and debuff. Right, alright. I think this is a good way to implement it. I like that code a lot. Effects would have its own specialized and also universal effects. Lack of a better name, I'm gonna call them core. Core types of effects. And I'm gonna drag these into that. And let's make a new type of effects called debuff. Debuff is a effect. Debuff. Okay. Does it need a name? I don't think it has to have a name. I know it doesn't conform to that, but the best thing, it's like it is like lose. It takes lose actually doesn't take. It's just like a different name for gain actually. I was thinking about we could extract that, but don't do that yet. But debuff is we have a nested effect. Yes. Nested effect. Yep. Oh, Xcode is getting smart. But it would be effect builder, and the effect building part is a bit awkward. How do we do biascog? Oh, how did we do this actually? There we go. Aha, right. You would have to be saying effect builder right here, and this is an effect builder. It takes nothing and it gives you an effect, and you call this effect builder that. This is a nested effect. And when you are applying a debuff, right, we want to check. We want to do a few things. One thing is, let's see. We want to see whether the player has any artifacts. If it doesn't, so let's see, guard game dot player dot attributes dot artifact. Hello? Right. When you start private extension attribute type attribute on this type. I would like you to have a static function called make. Default, yeah, sure, or just make. Wait, make. Sure. Ooh, you're smart. Almost smart. I don't want the default name. I also don't want that. Ooh. Var attributes. Yep. And if we go into this type, right? If we make this a case iterable, not iteratable, for type in all cases, yep. Let value being that, and return attributes. It's not random. It's always 0. Value is 0. And this would become .make. Actually, while we are doing that, we can group these into a folder called card tests. Yeah. And we can make a new empty file. Actually, stop that. We can make a new file, and this will be test. Swift testing unit test. Yep. And why is it just called a test? This will be a player test. Actually, this is player attributes test. And we can just name everything like they should be. There we go. Player should have all attributes set to 0. It's a bit wordy, but that's fine. Let player equals player. Can I make a player? Question mark. I can. Right, we also need to import deck building kit. There we go, now we have the player. Player initializer is inaccessible. Public init. That's not the right way to write code, Nicholas. Okay. Now you should not complain about this anymore. But build still failed. Right, we were writing code. And... This is not the best code, but let's do that. $value, yep, otherwise return. Before the returning, I'd like to do something else. Does not have artifacts, so we would say game dot apply the effect and the nested effect, which is a debuff. Otherwise, we do have artifact. Then we would be saying game dot player dot attributes dot that dot value -1, and we do not apply the nested debuff, the nested negative effect debuff. All right, I think that works, and it should build. Yeah, it does build. Right. We were still writing this test, and this test would go through, say, for attribute in player attribute dot all cases. Yeah. It's actually in attribute types. We expect player dot attribute is 0. Yeah, that's the case. Also not new. Question mark dot value not 0. that, and this isn't 0. Does that work? Does not. Why? Oh, right. I said neo, but I typed 0. And player blah 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 is neo. No. Don't mean to do that. Let's run this test. Hey, the build speed is pretty quick. Let me have some more drinks. And the test pass. Right. I wonder, can I add another macOS screen capture secondary? Oh, wow. Definitely not what I want to do. Here the item, right? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Go over here. Right. So now you can see what I am seeing on my console. And what I like to do is check what has changed. And this is a shorter version of the Git status. We have made a bunch of new files and we have changed a bunch of files and some files were deleted. All right. Now I remember that. I have moved some things around. I'm gonna add the changes case by case. Nope. Not yet. Yes, that's moved. Debuff is new. This is moved. This is also somewhat all new. Now this is renamed, this is renamed. I would say reset on this particular file. So it's not checked in yet. Also, I want to reset on this particular file. Oops, I made that super big. All right. Check my status again. Right, this is deleted. Where did it go? Oh, it's here. There we go. So all these files are moved around so I can have a tighter git commit. I like to make things tight. Yeah, they all just move things around. If you are working on a commercial project and if you make your commit as tight as possible, and if you have a bigger pull request for people to review, making the commit as atomic as they are would help a lot. So people doesn't have to go through a huge chunk of change in one go. They can just go through the commit one by one. Ideally, they're atomic enough. It's easier to understand. Let's see, what are we doing now? I think we're just adding tests, right? I think these two can be added just like so. Yep. And without adding the debuff yet, we can add the player attribute tests. Add tests for player attributes. Make sure the all there and all 0. Not new. Cool. And we can push. And now you can be gone. Neat. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's see. Right, debuff. We're working on debuff. But before we work on debuff, I remember that there's something else that looks exactly like the player attributes, but I forgot. I think there is also a for loop and a static function. Right. We do make sure. All right. This is internal access control. So we can write tests for this. Cool. Otherwise, we can't really do that. Game effects by event. I do like writing tests, if you have figured that out. Game effects by event tests. Right, there should be a S. S. And S. Almost exactly the same thing, so I can just copy, paste, change up the name, and change up this title, and get rid of this part. We do want to see the game. Game should... wait. So it should read as game should have all effects by event. Like that. Sure. And let game equals game. Yep. We do need to say, hey, testable. Yeah, because it's an internal access. It's not accessible from the outside of the SDK. And tests is a different thing. We would expect something very similar to this for the attributes. Yep. So we are gonna say for events in game event dot all cases. Yep. We expect game dot effects by event. If you go down here, it should be an empty list. Event, yep. To be not new. Yes. And we can even go one step further to say this is question mark and it is empty. We expect it to be empty. All right, can I do that? That's not the best thing that I want. But in this case, is empty itself doesn't really work because it's a bool question mark rather than being a bool, right? This is ugly. Ugly. But without the type is bool question mark, I think. I think that is the case. Does it complain? It does complain. It has to be unwrapped. Alright. I think that's gonna be like that for now. And let's go back to this thing. Transition. And let's see. I have changed a few things. I think apart from debuff, I'm adding everything else. So I am gonna add everything and reset on the debuff. And I'm gonna commit. Before I commit, I wanna do a double check. Yep. Add test for game having all effects by event. Y capitalize E, sorry, YS capitalize E tilde. Yep, my brain hurts. Ouch. Advanced vein. Ouch. All right, cool. Done that. We can go back to Xcode now, and I'm actually curious. Why the build failed? The build shouldn't fail. And yes, our coverage is really high. I like that. I love that. All right, we don't have coverage for debuff or core surge because we haven't actually rolled them yet. They have no function yet. Right, we have written down debuff. Now, what we want to do is we don't want to add this into a commit without the test, and we can almost test it here in the core surge and the bias cog together. We can do it TDD actually. Let's see. This would be test. Yep. And this would be biased cog does not apply debuff when we have, you know what, after this, all right, after this we are gonna add quick /quick. I cannot write test cases like this anymore. Bias cog does not apply debuff when we have artifact. This hurts my brain and my heart at the same time. All right, cool. After this, so we have the game, and do we have the player? Yes, we do. We do have the tributes, and we can say artifact. We give them one artifact. That's fine. Cannot assign. Self is immutable. Right. Mutating function. That always works. Oh, right. You have a value, sir. And I know you are there because I have tests to make sure you are there. Game.player.artifacts. Yeah, you have artifacts now. And let's bias. I do have a bias, and I don't have to. Let's just do this. Game.apply effect, and this would be a bias cognition. I don't quite understand why, but this is a card that I don't have to create. It's already there. I can play it anytime, but I think if we go a bit more advanced into the game mechanics, I might have to change some things. So it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry too much. So we do have artifact, and we apply the bias cognition, and if we check the bias cognition tests, right, we would require exactly that to be full. Wait a minute, where did I go? Here. This test would fail at first. And if we do dispatch the start of the player turn event, we expect this to be full, but this wouldn't pass because we haven't implemented the debuff yet. Oh, right. This is gonna say try. Right. Try again. Yep. Exactly what we expect, because we haven't wrapped things in debuff yet. Going to bias cognition, I mean the card. This itself is a debuff, and lose itself is also a debuff. This is a debuff. This. And We're gonna say debuff again, and that is losing. I think this way it shall work. Let's try this again. This would work. Hey, nice. There's another thing which is also mutating function. Biased cog. Does not apply. Huh. Right. Does not apply focus loss after we play core surge for once. Alright. Game.apply biased core, game.apply biased that. Actually, this is almost correct. So we do play. Oh, interesting. Right, this is. Okay. So that works. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna try this. And I'm not gonna. I think this would work too, right? Because we have biased cork. Right. Here is the thing. I would like this to go down to 3, and I think that works. We can apply biased cork, and we can say dispatch event dot start of the player turn, and we can expect this to be still 3. But if we do this one more time, it will go down to 2. How does that work? It does work. Because we would only be blocking 1. Oh. The other thing is focus. We need to make sure that it doesn't go down to 0. It's more than 0, right? The other thing is we would also expect because this is core surge, this is -1, it's gone, this is another -1, so this is 0, and that is the, what's this called? Artifact. Yeah. Okay, it works. Cool. Awesome. This is verified. This works. We do have artifact. We do not apply the nested negative effect. Cool, cool, cool. How do I like this change? Debuff. At the start of the turn, apply another debuff, which is losing 1 focus. I'm okay with that. I am 100% okay with that. And let's get back to... If I duplicate this, this is secondary on. Transition, right. And we can just say, check the change. I will add a debuff. There is an ugly. Why doesn't it? Oops. That's my account. That's fine. Nobody would notice that, right? Oh, right. You don't see it. I see it because it's a different window. Behaviors, text editing, editing. Show automatic reformat when completing code. Sure. Indentation, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. And where is that? It's right after the first dispatch. There. Cool. And I can go back to the terminal. See, I changed that. And now we can say add core surge and debuff. Love this stuff. Love this stuff. Okay. Push, 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 push. All right. So go back to my lovely, what you call this, OBS and Xcode and whatnot. Now we want to add quick. Actually, if I search for quick and nimble, it might be easier to find quick. Quick is a RSpec like test definition thingy. Yeah, it's a testing framework. It allows you to write beautiful test code. It's still using classes, but that's fine. Right, you can also install Quick and Nimble using the Swift Package Manager by adding the following to the dependencies section of your package.swift file. Just like that. Do I have a dependencies section? I do not. 7.6.2. Or just keep it at 0.0, that's fine, but I don't think I need the nimble yet. I think the expect thing is quite good, but I'm not sure how well it mix. Oh. I thought I didn't add nimble. Why is it adding nimble? Package, reset package cache. Packages. All right, it's taking its sweet time trying to resolve the package. It might need nimble itself. It might. It is taking its own sweet time. Huh. Why is my OBS changing, but my Twitch is not? Oh, wait a minute. Huh. Strange. Very strange. I wonder how long has it been like that? Nope. Oh, right. I am silly. It's always me. Oh wow, this package is taking a long time. Finally, it finished. Alright, there is one warning, which is... Yeah, I don't think I... package resolve. Try resolve again. This time it doesn't have nimble anymore. Although the package resolving does take quite a while. Okay, that looks much better. It's clean. Cool, awesome. Let's do another change here. What changed? All right, cool. We just added quick. So this would be at quick as a dependency. Yes, just one dependency, not two. Give me 1 second. Let me figure out one thing. OBS. Where is the transition button? Here. Okay, nice. I got a transition button now. Cool. Cool. Right, what were we doing? Oh, right, I was writing this thing and there was like, this is too much. We did add core surge. Rather than using, we do use test, but we also want to use quick. Huh. How do you add it to one of the... Come on. How do you add it to one of the things? Aha, here. Quick. Do we do it like that? Okay. Can I access it from here? Quick. No such module as quick. Well, to be honest, I haven't used Swift package managers before. Packages, documentation folder, details installing instructions. Sure, give me that. Thanks. Swift package manager. Oh, right, dependencies. Then you just give it that. If I go back. Targets, test targets, name, and dependencies. Yeah, like that. Quick. Test target, name, yep. Dependencies, yep. And that, yep. That is how it should be done, right? I'm not seeing anything different. We do have the dependencies defined. Just trying to make sure it works. I am gonna resolve the package versions again. Resolved. Does it finally realize that it should be there? All right, finally it works. I'm just gonna amend the last commit really quickly. Do a push. And here we can say final class core search tests. It'll be a quick spec. Actually, this is just the spec now. Right. And I think what you do is you override the class function spec. I haven't done this for a while too. Behavior testing, yes. Quick examples and groups. Yeah, override the class func. Right, and here is the fun stuff. So, we can say context. Okay, there we go. When for surge is applied, you do before each, and you say, right, we do need a game object. Var game. Probably want to say context. Right. I will just initialize the game here. Game equals game that, and game to apply effect core surge. Sure. And it will say it when core surge is applied. I want to find out how does quick translate the names now. I remember reading it somewhere in their release logs, change logs. .2.0, nope. 7.1.0, no. Unencoded test selectors that describe some feature context. In one case, it has a behavior it doesn't have. In one case, has a behavior. All right, cool. When core surge is applied, it does not apply. Is applied before bias cognition. Ooh, does not apply the entire debuff. And we would be saying expect, right, before bias cognition. And then we do game.apply effect biased cognition. It does not apply the entire debuff, which means, aha. Context. This would be when core surgery is applied before bias cognition at the start of the player's turn. Yeah. Before each game.dispatch event start of player turn. Wow, it's getting really clever. It does not apply the entire debuff. And we can say expect, we just copy this. Expect it to be 4. And if we run that, this is so much easier to read. Hey, that works. And I can even nest one more time, just to be sure. The second start of the player's turn. Sure. Before each, same thing. Just want to expect the same thing. I'm okay with a little bit duplication going on. Cool. Nice. It still works. Cool. And here is the other part. Context. When core surge is applied after focused biased cognition. Before each, take that. And yes, so this is exactly after. And we would say it does not apply debuff immediately. Right. Context when. Oh, right. At the start of the player's turn. Hey, Xcode, help. It does not apply the debuff immediately, which means it is still at 4. But we do need a before each dispatch. At the start of the player's turn. And here is after the first turn. So we do before each, do that. And we dispatch twice. It does apply debuff afterwards. And this will be 3. And I think this is nice. And if we go into tests, coverage at 89% now. Insights, kit, tests. Yeah! I love reading this. When core surge is applied after bias cognition, after the first turn, does not apply debuff afterwards. What do you mean afterwards? Didn't I say immediately? Alright, let's have another look. When core surge is applied after bias cog, at the start of the player's turn, after the first turn, oh right, after the first turn does apply debuff. After the first turn does not stop debuff anymore. How about that? I think that's easier to read. When core surge is applied after biased cognition, after the first turn, does apply debuff afterwards. Right. That. When core surge is applied after the first turn, it does not stop debuff anymore. Makes sense. At the start of the player's turn, does not apply debuff immediately. Does stop. Alright, cool. I am gonna rename things. Does stop. Does stop debuff for the first time. Run this again. Oh, we have 100% coverage now. Neat. When core surge is applied after bias cognition at the start of the player's turn, does stop debuff for the first time. After the first turn, does not stop debuff anymore. Before the bias cog at the start of the player's turn, does not apply the entire debuff. When at the start of the player's turn, at the second... Oh, okay. Maybe rather than doing it like this, right? At the start of the player's turn. This will be after the first. After the first turn, it still does not apply. It still stop the debuff. It stop. It does stop the entire debuff. It does still stop the debuffs. Okay. Let's see. before at the start of the player's turn does stop entire debuff. When Core Surge is applied before bias cognition after the first turn, it does still stop the debuffs. Sure. I think that's easy enough to read. Okay, bias Core Surge is updated. Bias cog. I think you can also use a bit help. I do like how easy it is to read. Quick. And we're gonna change this to a final biased cognition spec. Quick spec. This is weird. Spec. Oh, right. This is why it is weird. Spec. Uh-huh. And bias cognition spec. It would be very similar to the Core Surge test. We would have a game, for sure. And the context is when biased cognition is played before each game.apply biased cognition. It gives us 4 focus. Yes. Expect. Yay! It does understand. Try that out. That is fantastic. I just wish it's just a little bit faster. The Xcode auto-completion part. Unexpectedly found nil while implicitly... Oh, right, shoot. Game equals game. There we go. Can I call before each here? And I can say game is that. If that works, that would be fantastic. Oh, I can. No way. Okay. Give us 4 focus. When bias cog is played, it gives us 4 focus. And when bias cog is played, give us 4 focus. And then context. After the first turn, before each dot dispatch event start of the player turn. So that was the first turn. This is actually the second turn now. We would say it lowers focus by 1. Exactly. And we expect it becomes 3. Oh my god, it's so clever. How about I say after the second? Does not work like that. I still have to give it the context and say after the second turn. Can you do it for me? Oh, we need to do this twice, actually. Because, yeah, it's on the same indentation level. It lowers focus by 2. Huh. Oh, excuse me. I said by 2, so it should be 2 now. try this again. Okay. Let's see. Context. Wait, what was that? Didn't see it. Context. After 5 turns. For each, what's the easiest way to run it 5 times? 5 dot. So it's 0 dot 5 dot for each. Game dot dispatch. Start. Right, so this would call it 5 times. So this has been 5 turns. At the start we have 4. The 4th turn we have 0. And it has -1 focus. -1. Almost there. Hey, all the tests ran through, and let's see the tests. Lowers focus by 1, lowers focus by 2, has -1 focus. Cool, it does go into negative. Cool, awesome. And let's see. Right. After the first turn, when Bascog is played, Bascog, cognition. Sure. Show me this again. Oh, okay. That's good enough. Cool. Use quick spec to replace Swift testing. Use quick spec for better readability. Oh man, this is so good. I mean, I can do this too, but I'm like, I'm tired. I want to chill and rest now. I will probably see you guys later. I think this weekend is a bit busy. Maybe Friday I can stream for like an hour or 2. I haven't been streaming a lot for the last probably 2 weeks. Alright, while I talk, let's do this together. And remember to update the thing with the thing and the thing. Let's see. This should be easy. Actually, I don't mind this being the Swift testing. Oh. Yeah, I don't mind this being Swift testing. For simple stuff, the Swift testing is fine. It's just not as easy to read as like human readable text, but that's fine. Let's see, check mark. It does take away your artifact. It does not add a lose focus effect. If you have artifact before you play the card, then it does not blah 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 blah. Check. If you have artifacts after you play the card, then it only stops the focus lost effect. The focus lost effect. What? Yay! I do like writing code. It does feel quite nice. Oh, you didn't see that. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to switch my scene. But it's just that. I just added that to... Let's have a look. I basically added these. This block is new. This is new. That's all. Update readme.md. I do like how we have built a basic framework for building Slay the Spire or any kind of deck builder games with the concept of bias cognition and core surge. Even though it's 2 cards from a very specific game, but imagine if we can have a configuration for what kind of attributes a player would have, what kind of events would this game have, and what kind of cards would this game have due to these kind of events, right? Bias cognition is a very specific card to... I'm also thinking, right? It actually just needs the effect to be able to play. We can have another part of the card. Maybe the card will be 2 parts. Maybe... Parallel bias cog V2. It would be... Bias cog equals card. It would have effect. Actually, it wouldn't have effect like that. What it would have is like a sort of like a data pack. Card data. And this is game specific card data. So this way we could build an abstract foundation for our deck builder kit, which is a SDK for the game devs, and leave out the details for the game devs. I like I like this program. I like this code. It's very easy to read and it's powerful too. And it's very easy to write it too. Especially like, oh, this is debuff. And if you have artifact, it will counter that. Well, debuff is more like debuff and artifact, right? This is very game specific. I feel like I don't have to write debuff. If this is SDK, right, debuff would be part of the end user of the SDK, wouldn't be part of the SDK itself, because it relies on specifics, like attributes, like artifact. If you just have generic attributes, fine. Gain, lose, combined, event driven, that's fine. This is very game specific. Gotta take a note. Debuff. Quite game specific because it uses game specific attributes. Everything else so far, right? This is also game specific. Bias cognition, core surge, of course, they are game specific. Any kind of cards are game specific. name and effect, I think I can have that, but anything after that, like all of this, game specific. Note to do. It's just my notes. It's fine. We'll just leave them there. Let's see. What did I do? Oh, just some notes. All right, cool. I will just say, hey, some notes. Notes. All right, code is pushed. I'm pretty happy with how far we got. I might write some. I might think about what do we want to do next. I think Core Surge and Bascock is a good combo to get started. To think about, all right, how would this whole thing work out? But then I'll probably want to build. This is like version 1. And afterwards, I probably want to build some kind of, what would you call it? I would like to be able to play this game. I feel like now we have some basic foundation going on. I would like to at least have an enemy and I can attack it. I can do some damage. We can just use Core Surge and add some basic block and play a game. Being able to play a game and maybe build a command line interface for how to play the game. Like you can just using this as a playground. This is command line interface. And you can say cards and it will just list all cards. Doesn't even need to that. And you can say, card 0 to like 10. Yeah, right. You have 10 cards in your hand. You can say card 0 to 10. Pick number. And you say target 0 to. How many enemies are there? Say 0 to 10, right? You can say cards. List all the cards. Enemies. Or just a C. Just the E. This would list all enemies like that, and this would pick a card. If it does require a target, it will say which target, and you can do like target. If it is block, it just applies onto yourself. If it is not, you know. A command line interface. That would be fun to write, right? Alright, I think that is it for tonight. And I hope you have enjoyed this particularly fun stream night. If you do, hit those buttons, whether it's follow or subscribe or like the video. And I will see you next time. Cool. Thank you very much. Bye. Have a good one.